Have a blessed day, everyone. So now I will discuss to you the reasons or forces behind the Ukraine and Russia conflict. Russia-Ukraine relations are the bilateral ties between the Russian Federation and Ukraine following the Ukrainian Revolution of Dignity in 2014. So Ukraine's Crimean Peninsula was occupied by unmarked Russian forces after being annexed by Russia, while pro-Russia separatists simultaneously engaged the Ukrainian military in an armed conflict for control over eastern Ukraine. So these events mark the beginning of the ongoing Russian and Ukraine war. In a major escalation of conflict, on February 24, 2022, Russia launched a full-scale invasion of the Ukrainian mainland across a broad front, causing Ukraine to sever all former diplomatic ties with Russia. So after the collapse of the Soviet Union in 1991, the successor states' bilateral relations have undergone periods of ties, tensions, and outright hostility. So, in the early 1990s, Ukraine policy was dominated by separation to ensure its sovereignty and independence, followed by a foreign policy that balanced cooperation with European Union or EU, Russia, and other powerful polities. Relations between the two countries have been hostile since the 2014 Ukrainian Revolution, which was followed by Russia annexation of Crimea from Ukraine, and due to Russia's backing for the separatist fighters of the Donetsk People Republic and Luhansk People Republic in a war. So conflict that had killed more than 13,000 people by early 2020 and brought Western sanction on Russia. Numerous bilateral agreements have been terminated and economic ties severed. Throughout 2021 and 2022, a Russian military build-up on the border of Ukraine escalated tension between the two countries and strained their bilateral relations. So Ukraine broke diplomatic relations and Moscow in response to Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Streets bearing the names of Russia figures and moments symbolizing Ukraine-Russia friendships would also remove from various locations across Ukraine. So how the community of nations is responding on this invasion of Russia and Ukraine? First is on a country near at Ukraine, drawing parallels between Ukrainian situation and Africa's own experience with borders drawn by outside powers in the aftermath of empire collapse. Kimani emphasized that despite of understandable desires for integration with peoples and neighboring state, integration by forces and expansionism are unacceptable. He called on all UN member states to rally in support of militarism to find a peaceful resolution to the Russia and Ukraine crisis. Then in Russia, so Arctic is a strategic landscape for Russia. The Kola Peninsula is home to Russian Northern Fleet and an important hub for their strategic submarine and second strike capability. Moreover, Russia uses the Arctic to test and demonstrate its military capabilities, such as in recent nuclear strategic forces exercise GROM 2022, when the nuclear triad was tested alongside hypersonic and ballistic missiles after some fear Russia invasion of Ukraine spills into other areas due to a miscalculation, misstep, miscommunication, or poor forceful action to include NATO member or partner state Russia. Arctic based military asset will undoubtedly be drawn into the conflicts. Strong NATO representation including the United States, Norway, Denmark, Canada, and Iceland, as well as the partner countries Finland and Sweden. The later two nations have navigated a difficult balance between the deterrence and reassurance to maintain practical relations through Russia's actions in Ukraine may bring out a reevaluation of such policies. To various planned defensive NATO exercise will commence in the Arctic this week, coinciding with Russia invasion of Ukraine. So that's all, and thank you.